Today we're going to look at my predictions for the Central Division of the 2017-18 NHL season. Personally, I find the Western Conference is going to be a lot easier to determine who is going to make it and not. Today we're talking about the Central Division. Yeah, I think the prediction is pretty good. I mean, again, it's the preseason and it's just starting, but I think I have a grasp on what these teams may produce. So starting off, I think the team that's not really going to get better this year because of all the drama they've accumulated would have to be the Colorado Avalanche. Yeah, they got Nate McKinnon, they have Rantanen, they struggle in goaltending with Varlamov, but the whole Duchesne aspect is really hurting them right now. Looks like Sakic's looking for the right price, but I don't know, it's causing more distraction for your team than a progressive stance for your team. So yeah, I don't see them, especially in their back end and goaltending, I don't see them as a full team, not even close to a full team yet. Coming ahead of them, again, not making the playoffs this year, I see the Winnipeg Jets. Again, it's just such a hard division for them to actually make the top 3 spots, let alone a wild card in the Western Conference, comparing it to like the Pacific Division as well. Someone has to be bounced out, and I think it's going to be the Winnipeg Jets. All in all, pretty good team. They got another goaltender this year with Mason. They got the captain Wheeler, a star in line A, but still the core depth of the team is lacking, and the defensive end is also lacking. They have a big guy with Myers, but again, he's kind of been underneath everyone's radar and not doing as well as people would have thought he would become. Jumping ahead of the Winnipeg Jets, but still not making the playoffs, I see the Minnesota Wild. They just gave up Pominville, who is a native of Minnesota, back to his former team that he came from, Buffalo. I just don't see this team as an organized team in general this year. Last year they had a 13-game, I think, winning streak. They're playing Columbus and everything, and someone had to lose. Do I see this team going on a tear this year and using that momentum they had from last to get another 13-game winning streak? I mean, it's once in a blue moon for a reason. Minnesota, I think there's a team this year that had a poor team last year, or not a poor team, but a poor outcome last year that's actually going to do very well this year. And I know a few people from the readings I've done would have to agree with me on this, but we'll get to that team later. Team jumping ahead of Minnesota and securing a wild card spot this year, I see the team that made the Stanley Cup final last year, the Nashville Predators. Yeah, Nashville just named Yossi as a captain. They have Rene and Net, they have Subban, they just had Fisher retire, but that's okay. They have Philip Forsberg, who's going to become a stud eventually for this team, if not already. I just see them as a very good team, enough to actually bounce someone else out of a playoff spot. I'm not quite sure which place on the wild card they'd be, number 1, number 2, but I see them still making the playoffs this year, and you never know, this might be the year that they actually claim a Stanley Cup. Jumping ahead into the 3rd spot this year, I see the team that had not a bad team, like I mentioned before, not a bad team, but they just had bad outcome. That would be the Dallas Stars. Jamie Benn's coming back, Tyler Seguin's coming back, and they have a stud of a goalie now who's kind of been thrown around a little bit, saying that he's not a starter, but he's a 6'7", I think, goaltender, Ben Bishop. So the problem with Dallas in recent history is that they had Lettinen and Niemi. They had 2, in my opinion, backup goalies who could have eventually made starter, but never took that jump. Now I see Lettinen as the remainder backup, but Bishop as the solid starter. They could be split in games. I'm not sure how Dallas is going to pursue this. They actually have a goaltender that can lead them into the playoffs once again, and you never know, it might be a threat. Jumping ahead of Dallas, I have the St. Louis Blues. They have Tarasenko, they have Allen, who had a really good playoffs last year, and they have Brodeur as a coach for Allen, which is, I mean, Hall of Famer Martin Brodeur teaching you, it's pretty good. And seeing the fruit of the labor in the playoffs last year with Allen, I mean, I think he can contribute more this year as well. Steen's good, Tarasenko's good, Stastny could be better, but still good. I just think this team is always making the playoffs, but for St. Louis, it's when they make the playoffs, what are they going to do? Are they going to end up being like a San Jose team who always makes it but always is eliminated? When are they going to make the jump to a Stanley Cup final or an Eastern Conference final? I mean, will it be this year? Again, they haven't proven it, so it's kind of hesitant for me to actually say yes. But again, the season hasn't even started yet. We don't know what injuries may occur. These are just my predictions of how it's going to set up in the playoffs. That means coming in at number 1, if you do the process of elimination, you have the Chicago Blackhawks, a veteran team with Taves, Kane, Crawford, Keith, Seabrook. I mean, they've won multiple cups. They've been there before, and they brought back someone else in the trade of Panarin, Brendan Saad, a familiar face. Marian Hossa is out for the season for a skin condition, but they have enough depth on the team that they can still win without him, which is amazing because it's Marian Hossa. He's a very good player. He's a very good sniper. But again, yeah, like I said, they just have depth on the team that they could survive without him. So number 7, we have the Colorado Avalanche. At number 6, we have the Winnipeg Jets. At number 5, we have the Minnesota Wild. At number 4, we have a Nashville Predators, who's going to make the wild card spot. At number 3, we have the Dallas Stars, who's going to get back into a playoff spot. Number 2, we have the St. Louis Blues. And of course, at number 1, we have the Chicago Blackhawks. What do you think of these picks? Again, people may vary on ideas. That's fine. Let me know in the comments below. Tell your friends. Maybe have a discussion with your friends. Have a discussion with me. It's all good. It's all good fun. The season's just about to start, and we're going to have a good time. Okay, guys, have a good day.